He does not seem able to understand what he is saying. That money was not corruptive, the dangers, simply papers. It was Hassan changes to walk toward a better future. It was the result of sacrifices made by friends, families, and peoples who had almost nothing but still gave what they could. Now users stand a few steps away, watching their hopes disappear with a cold smile. He wants Emmer to lose control. He wants him to attack without thinking. User knows that anger can destroy Emmer more easily than any weapons. Emmer moved forward, but Hassan catches his army. Hassan is weak, yet he uses all his strength to hold his friend back. He tells Emmer not to give Yusei the victory he wants. Emmer looks at Hassan and sees fear in his eyes, not fear of death, but fear that Emmer ruin his own life while trying to save him. That single looks to stop Emmer for one important moment. Tuesday laughs and says that this is only the beginning. He tells them that people like them should learn their place and stop dreaming about entering a world that does not belong to them. Emmer answers quietly that the fire has not ended anything, it has only shown them who their real enemy is. You expect Emmer to shout, but Emmer's calm voice makes him uncomfortable. Shadow does not have the same control. He rushes forward and tries to reach Yuze, but two men step out from behind a parked vehicles and block his path. This was not angry act done in a certain moment. It was carefully planned. Yuze wanted them to see the money burning. He wanted Hassan to watch his futures despairs. Most of all, he wanted Emmer to feel powerless. Mud pulls Shadow back and harm his that Yuze man may be carrying weapons. Shadow tells him that he does not care. Mud answers that Hassan needs them alive and free, not injured or arrested. Yuze slowly walks toward his car, but before getting inside, he turns and looks directly at Emmer. He says that Emmer has now lost the money, Malik, and every path leading out of the neighborhood. He believes Nas will also leave. When he finally understands that Emmer brings dangers whenever he goes, Emmer does not respond to the insult. Instead, he says that he has made one serious mistake. He has attacked all four friends at the same time. Until now, they have been fighting for different reasons, but from the night forward, they will fight for one purpose. Yuze's smile weakens for a second. He gets into the car and the vehicle disappears into darkness. The men leave with him, but their threat remains behind like a shadow over the beach. As soon as Yuze is gone, Hassan's strength leaves him. His legs begins to shake and he falls to the sand. Emmer and Mud catch him before his head hits the ground. Hassan says he is fine, but his face has lost its color. Shadow calls for help while Emmer checks Hassan's breathing. Hassan keeps looking at the flames and whispers that everyone's sacrifice has been washed because of him. He says that the neighborhood souls valuables, belongings, borrowed money, and emptied smile, saving boxes for the operation. He remembered children bringing corn and old pupils giving the little cash they had saved for winters. He cannot accept that all of it's gone. Emmer tells him to stop blaming himself. None of this happened because of Hassan. The fault belongs only to the persons who choose currently. Hassan closes his eyes and says currently still win when good people cannot stop it. Emmer takes his hand and promises they will recover every lira. He does not know how and he does not yet have a plan, but his promise is firm. The balance arrives and the medical workers place Hassan on a stretchers before the door closes. Hassan tells Emmer not to become another version of Yuze. Emmer understands what he means. Hassan is afraid that revenge will change his friend. Emmer gives no answers because at that moment He does not know whether he can keep his anger under control. Naz arrived at the beach just as the ambulance is leaving. He had followed Emma after receiving a strange message from Mud, but she was too late to stop. What happens? She sees the burned money and immediately understands the size of the disasters. Emma stands near the dying flames with ash on his cloth and cuts on his hand. Naz approaches carefully, knowing that one wrong word may make him close himself off. He asks where Hassan is. Amr tells her that he has been taken to the hospitals. Naz then asks whether Yusei did this, although the answer is already clear. Amr finally looks at her. His eyes are filled with shame as well as anger. He says he spared Hassan. Naz tells him that Yusei committed the crime and that Amr must not carry another man's guilt. Amr says he knew Yusei was dangerous but still allowed everyone to attend Alia party. While they were distracted, Yusei entered the house and took the money. Amr believes he should have guessed that the celebrations was part of a trap. Naz reminds him that nobody can predict every move made by a person who has no limits. She tells him that blaming himself will not help Hassan. Finding evidence and recovering the money might. Her particles word begins to pull Amr out of his shock. Instead of staring at the ashes, he starts looking around the beach. He studies the tire marks, the containers at the place where Yusei men were standing. Naz notices the changes in his expressions. Amr is no longer only an angry friend, he is becoming someone determined to understand the entire plan. Mart returns after following the road of a short distance. He could not catch Yusei vehicles, but he saw another dark Evans leave a few minutes later. He believes someone he has been recording the scenes because he noticed a small red light through the van's rear window. This means Yusei may have wanted proof of Emma's reactions. Perhaps he planned to use a violent response against him. Sado said they should not go directly to the police and report everything. Mark agrees, but Emmer points toward the burning container and asks what they can prove. Yusei were wrong. His men stayed at a distance. The money had been kept in Emmer's house without an official record of every note. Even if the police believed them, Yusei will claim that the money was never there or that someone else stole it. Naz said that partly guessed building camera, road cameras and telephones locations and provide a trail. Mart adds that Malik knew where the money was hidden. Silence fall over the group. They all understand with this could means Amr had ended his relationships with Malik after the angry actions exposed all secrets, but he had not believed she would help Yusei steal money means for Hassan's treatment. Sado is less willing to defend her. He says Malik's jealousy has already caused enough damage. Naz does not speak against her. She only says they need fact before making another enemy. At the hospitals, the doctors tell them that Hassan's condition has become more delicate. Stress has increased his pain, and any delay in treatment may reduce the chance of a successful recovery. The operations cannot be arranged until the required payment is secured, but the hospital will keep Hassan under observation for the night. Hassan's mother listens from the hallway and begins to cry quietly. She does not ask where the money went. She has already seen the answers on the faces of the young men. Emma tries to apologize, but she stops him. She says Emma has stood beside Hassan like an brother for years. She will not allow him to take responsibility for the actions of a cruel man. However, she asks him for one promise: he must not let this situation place another mother-son in a hospital or prison. Call Amar knows she is warning him against attacking Yuse, he say he will find a different path. His answers sound strong, but Naz noticed the tension in his hand. Emma's anger has not disappeared; it is simply waiting for our directions. Hassan wakes after receiving medicines and asks to speak. His friend without his mother in the room. When Emma, Sado, and Mer gather around the bed, more than anyone could expect. He refuses to let them borrow dangerous money or work uh, for criminal. Sado becomes angry and say Hassan is speaking as though his life belongs only to him. He reminds Hassan that friendship means carrying a burden together even when one person wants to give up. Mert speaks more gently. He says Hassan would never walk away of one of its them needed help, so Hassan has not tried to demand that they abandon him now. Emma remains silent until Hassan asks him to say something. Emma then said that the decision has already been made. They will find the money, exposes Yuse and arrange the operations. Hassan asks now. Emma admits that he does not yet. However, he says not knowing the road is different from having no road. They have survived many situations without power or wealth because they refuse to leave one another. Hassan looks at their faces and realizes that arguing will not change them. He agrees on one condition where they will not sacrifice an innocent person, commit a serious crime, or sell their futures to save his Emma except through Sado turns the head away because he is not sure he can make the same promise. Outside the room, Naz asks Amir what he plans to do first. He says they must return to the house before Yuse has time to remove every clue. Naz offers to come, but Amir tells her to stay at the hospitals with Hassan. Naz refuses. She says he cannot stop deciding when she is allowed to stand beside him. Emma explained that Yuse has already threatened her. The closer she comes to Emma, the most dangerous her. She also reminded him, notice that details the other miss. Understand how she thinks. Emma looks at her for a long moment. Their growing feelings are clear, but methods to flow them. Pieces of speak openly. Emma finally agreed that she can come. Na smiles slightly and says she was going with them even without permissions. Mud noticed the exchange and quality move away, giving them privacy without making a joke. The night has become too serious for his usual humor. When they reach Emma's house, they find the door damaged but not completely broken. This suggests that the thief had a key of no another way inside. The room where the money was hidden had been searched, yet many experience looking where item untouched. However, enters the medical front. Murt check the windows and finds so forced entries. Shadow might have given Yuse. Emma tells him into the make accusations without proof. Shadow replies Emma's feelings are making blind. Na step between there. The argument grows. She says both of them partly right. Melly could have provided information without Use. Emma Sardo says that does not make sure but she insists that understand Melly could role lead them to use. Emma searched the shelf where the money had been kept. Under a broken piece of wood, he finds a small silver button. It does not belongs to anyone in the house. Murt remembers seeing one of the men wearing a dark jacket with that the same group may have entered the house. Naz walked through the kitchen and noticed that the same group may have entered the house. Naz walked through the kitchen and noticed that the glass has been used and left beside the skin. The thief may not have alone or someone who felt comfortable in the house may have wanted when the money. She places the bag hoping it may contain frightening shadow look surprised as they she looks shadow when she become in investigators not see she has wanted people especially when they think nobody is watching them. Emma checked the small security camera outside a nearby shop. The owner is not present, but the camera points toward part of the street. They decide to return in the morning. Mud photograph and the damage and every project that seems out of a place. He finds also a big piece of black plastic near the black entrance. It looks like a part of modern car key. Naz remembered the dark van scenes near the beach. If the plastic came from the same vehicles, they may be able to identify its models. For the first time since the money burned, the front they are moving rather than simply rating. Across the city, Malik sits alone in Yuze's apartment. She watches a video on its telephones showing the money burning. Her face changes when she sees Hassan's collapse. Yuze enters with two glasses and acts as though they have achieved a great victory. He tells her Emma will finally understand what happens when he humiliates people. Malik asks why he burns the money. She says he promised only to take it, not destroy it. Yuze answers that taking it would have allowed Emma to keep hope. Burning it in front of him created a deeper wound. Malik said the money was for Hassan's, not Emma. Yuze replies that everyone around Emma is a useful target because Emma's greatest weakness is loyalty. Malik begins to understand that she was never Yuze's partner, she was only a tool. She used her anger after Emma ended their relationships. He used the information she gave him about the house and the hidden money. Malik believed Yuze would embarrass Emma, perhaps fearing to ask for help. She did not know he could risk Hassan's life. Yuze noticed her discomfort and warned her not to become emotional. He reminded her that she wanted Emma and asked to suffer. Malik says she wanted Emma to feel the pain he caused her, but she never wanted Hassan to lose his treatment. Yuze laughs and tells her that revenge cannot be controlled when it belongs. He then gives her a new task. He must return to Emma's house and place a small package beneath its bed. The package contains a weapon and several banknotes connected to another promise. Yuze plans to send an anonymous message to the police, making Emma look like a chief involved in illegal business. Malik refuses. Yuze's expressions immediately becomes cold. He shows her a recording of their earlier conversations in which she reveals where the operation's money was hidden. If she goes to the police or tells Emma the truth, Yuze will realize the recording. Everyone will believe she planned the thief. Malik says the recording will also prove his involvement, but Yuze explained that his voice has been removed from the company copy he plans to share. Only her words remain. He tells her she can either complete the task or carry the full blame. For the first time, Malik feels afraid of the man she chose as an ally. The next morning, the neighborhood wakes with news of the stolen and burning money. Anger moves from house to house. Some pupils blame Yuze while others whisper that the young man was careless. A few believe the story is too shocked to be true. Hassan's mother asked everyone not to fight. She was another act of violence will not restore what was lost. The local shopkeepers opened a new collections box. Amar asked him to close in for now. He appreciated the sports, yet he cannot ask the same poor families to give twist. And already man tells Amar that people did not give because they were rich. They gave because Hassan belongs to them. Refusing their help may hurt their dignity. Amar thinks about this world. He realized that accepting sport is not always weakness. Still raising for millions lira again through small donations would take too long. Hassan's medical deadline is moving closer. The shopkeepers gives Amar access to the security recording. The camera shows a dark and entering the street shortly before the thief. Its number plates cannot be seen clearly because mud covers several characters. A person wearing a hood leaves the passenger side and walks toward the back of Amar house. 10 minutes later, the same person returns carrying a sports bag. Another figure sits in the driver's seat. Nas pauses the video and zooms in on the passenger's hand. A ring catches the light. Emma recognizes it as a ring often worn by one of USA guards. Sado says they finally have proof, but might explain that a blurry image may not be enough for the police. They need the vehicles, the persons, or a clear recording. Nas noticed a sticker on the rear window of the van. It belongs to a private parking company used by several event venues. Alina party was held at one of those venues. This creates a direct connection between the party and the vehicles used during the theft. They visit the party location and ask to see the parking record. The manager first refuses, saying guest information in private. Nas calmly explained that money for a life-saving operation was stolen. While the group attended the event, she does not threat him. Instead, she asks how he will feel it. Hassan loses his chance because a simple record was hidden. The manager finally checked the systems. A van matching the image entered using two temporary pass requested by a member of the event staff. The name on the request is false, but a telephone number is attached. Mud call is from a different phone. A man answers, heard Mud voices, and immediately end the call. Sado wants to trace the number, but they do not have the ability. Na suggests giving it to the police with the recording. Amar agrees, although he believes they should also continue their own search. He did not fully trust that official actions will be fast enough to save Hassan. As they, the venue worker is secretly approached Mud, he says he the van driver speaking with a woman near the back entrance during the party. The woman appeared nervous and hidden him something that looked like a key. He could not see her face clearly, but she wore a green costume. Remember Malik arriving at the party in a green coat. He does not tell Amar immediately. Instead, he asks the worker whether there were any cameras near the back entrance. The workers say one camera was removed for repairs, but another may have recorded part of the area. The manager had not mentioned it because it belongs to a neighborhood building. Mud collects the address and thanks him outside. Sado asks what the worker said. Mud hesitates and then tells them everything. Amar's face hardens when he hears about the green coat. Na says many women may own similar clothing, but Amar's Malik coat was unusual. He still does not want to accept the consulants, not because she wants Malik back, but because she cannot believe she would use Hassan's illness as a weapon. Nas tells Amar that they should speak to Malik before Yuse changes her story or move her somewhere else. Emma worries Dad, comforting he will warn you they must just watch her. First Shadow dislike the idea of wasting time, but he agrees after Nas point out that Malik may lead them directly to use hidden locations. They divided their task. Mert will take the evidence to a police office. He trusts Shadow will stay near the hospitals and protect Hassan's family. Naz and Amar will follow Malik from a distance. Shadow says Amar is the worst person for that job because Malik will recognize him immediately. Naz answers that Amar knows his habit better than anyone else. More immediately, Malik may agree to speak if she is separated from Yuze. Amar accepts the plan but tells Naz that they must leave at the first sign of danger. Malik spends the morning walking through busy streets, constantly checking behind her. She carries Yuze packing inside a large bag. She had not decided whether she will plant it in Amar's room. Fears tell her to be obey, but guilt grows stronger each time she remembers her son falling beside the fire. She enters a small cafe and sits near the back. Emmer and Naz watch from across the road. Naz notices that Malik is not behaving like someone placed with revenge. Her hands shake and she does not touch the drink placed in front of her. A man enters the cafe, speaks to Malik for less than a minute, and leaves without sitting down. Emma recognizes him as one of Yuze's men. Malik then opens her bag and checks the package. Naz takes several photographs through the window. Emma wants to comfort for immediately, but Naz stops him. She says they will not do not know what is inside. Malik leaves the cafe and walks toward Emma's neighborhood. The confirmed that Yuze has stand there for another reason. Emma and Naz follow through side street. Near the house, Malik stops and looks at the window. Memories of happier day cross her face. She remembers meal shared with Emma's friend, laughter in the small room, and Hassan treating her with kindness even when she was difficult. She tasks out the key, but she cannot place it in the lock. Her guilt because too heavy at that moment. Emma steps from behind the walls and asks what she is carrying. Malik turns it shocked. She tries to hide the bag, but Naj approves from the other side. Emma asks again, this time more firmly. Malik says it is none of this business. Emma tells her everything connected to Hassan is now his business. He asks whether she gave Yuze the key to the house. Malik's silence becomes an answer. Emil anger rises, but Naz quietly says his name, reminding him of Hassan's warning. Emma takes a breath and asks Malik why she did it. Malik says that threw her away thread her through. Their history means nothing. She believes Naz had taken her place before their relationships had even ended. Emma says pain does not excuse helping a man steal medical's money. Malik shouted that she did not know Yuze would burn it. She threw the would hide the money and forced Emma to leave. Naz in exchange for its returns. Naz is shocked by the selfishness of the plan, but she remains calm. She asks what Yuze has ordered Malik to do now. Malik says nothing. Emma reaches for the bag and Malik steps back. During the struggles, its fall opens. The wrapped weapons and banknotes slide onto the ground. Naz quickly photographs everything before anyone touches it. Emma stares at Malik with deep disappointment, planting the package could have sent him to promise. Malik begins carrying and says Yuze threatening her. She explains the editing, recording, and his plan to place the full blame on her. Emma says she should have to come them. Malik replies that she believes nobody would listen. Afterwards, she had done. Naz tells her that hiding the trust would only make the situation worse. She gives Malik through choices, counting, helping Yusei until he destroys all of them, or help expose him while there is still time. Malik looks at Emmer, hoping to see a small sign that he still cares about her. Emmer's expression is not cruel, but it is close. He says helping them will not erase her actions. However, it may prevent Hassan from paying the final price. Malik agrees to talk, but she asks for protections from Yusei. Malik revealed that Yusei did not personally remove the operations money from Emmer's house. His men did it while everyone was at the party. She gave them the spare key and the location of the hiding place. She also says Yusei ordered her to send a message when Emmer and his friend were fully distracted. Malik through the money would be stored is one of Yusei's warehouses. After seeing the fire, she believed everything was gone. Here she heard Yusei speaking to one of his men. Later that night, he asking whether the real bag had been moved. At first, she assumes he means something unrated. Now, after seeing the package means to Ephraim Emmer, she is no longer sure. Naz immediately understands the possibility the money burned at the beach may not have been the real operations found. Emmer remembers the flames, the notes buried quickly, but he had been too shocked to inspect them closely. Yusei stood for enough away to prevent anyone from reaching the containers before the fire destroyed its content. Mart had also been another van leaving the beach. Perhaps one vehicle carried Yusei and the fake money while the second transported the real cash. Malik says Yusei owned access to an old storage building near the industrial area. Although it is registered under another person's name, she once heard him call it the cold room. She does not know the exact unit, but she remembers seeing a blue gate and old football symbol painted on the wall. Emmer asks why Yusei would keep the money instead of destroy it. Naz answers that Yusei values power, but he also values money. Burning for million lira would prove his hatred, yet tricking them fake notes would give the both revenge and profit. They call Mert and tell him about the new possibility. Mert says the police may need from the Malik's statement because her involvement makes her unbreakable witness. However, the hidden package, the security recordings, and the vehicle's record can support her story. He tells them not to enter the warehouse alone. Emmer agrees too quickly and Mert realizes he is lying. He warns Emir that Yusei may have expected Malik to betray him. The locations could be a trap. Emmer says Hassan cannot wait for a slow investigation. Mert replies that Hassan also cannot survive losing all this friend. In one reckless night, they decide to meet at the hospitals and make a complete plan. Before leaving, Naz asks Malik to record a new conversations with Yusei. Malik is frightening, but Naz explained that they need his own words. She could call him and say she has planted the package. Then she should ask what will happen to the money taken from Emmer's house. Malik worries that our direct questions will make him suspicious. Emmer suggests a more natural approach. Malik can ask whether Yusei will return the medical money if Emmer is arrested. That question matches the false plan she originally believed. Mary calls him while Naz records the conversations from another device. Yusei answers and immediately asks whether the task is finished. Malik says yes. She then asks whether he will keep his promise and return Hassan's money once Emmer is in prisoners. User pauses. He says Hassan's future no longer matters. Malik pushes gently, saying there is no reason to keep the bag after Amar is destroyed. Yusei answers that she should stop asking about property that now belongs to him. It is not a full confession, but it is strongly suggests that he still has the money. Yusei ends the call and looks across his office at one of his men. He says Malik sounded different. The man asks whether they should move the crash. Yusei says they should more than that. He wanted to the strong buildings prepare as a trap. The real money will be moved to a second location before sunset. Inside the first warehouse, they will leave an empty bag, several cameras, and men waiting in the darkness. You say no, Amar will come in. Malik has revealed the locations. He does not limit it to kill Amar because that would end the game too quickly. Instead, he plans to capture him while the appears to be breaking into private property. He will then release edited footage showing Amar carrying a weapon and searching for stolen money. User believe public shame and a criminal charge will destroy Amar's chance to become a professional football player. To him, this is a better punishment than physical pain. At the hospital, Hassan noticed that everyone is speaking in low voices outside his room. He asks Shadow what they are hiding. Shadow tries to change the subject, but Hassan knows him too well. After several questions, Shadow admits that the burned notes may have been fake and that the real money may still exist. Hope appears on Hassan's face, but it is quickly replaced by worry. He asks where Amar has gone. Shadow says Amar is collective evidence. Hassan answers that this usually means Amar is preparing to do something dangerous. He tries to leave the bed, but pain forces him back. Shadow tells him to rest. Hassan becomes angry and says resting is impossible while his friend risks their lives for him. Shadow finally tells him that Malik has confessed. Hassan is shocked. He had always defended her, believing her jealousy came from fear of being forgotten. He never imagined she would help. Yusei entered the house. Malik entered the hospitals with Amar and Naz. The hallway becomes silent. When Hassan's mother says her, she understands immediately that Malik is connected to the thief. Malik tries to apologize, but the old woman raises one hand. She says she does not want to apology made because Malik is afraid of punishment. She wants to Malik look at uh, Hassan and understand that every selfish action reaches someone who had no part in the original fight. Malik begins crying and says she will help recover the money. Hassan asks to speak with her privately. Amar does not like the idea, but Hassan insists. Inside the room, Hassan asks Malik whether she never thought about what the money meant. Malik says she was blinded by anger. Hassan angers that anger does not truly make a person blind. It simply gives them permissions not to look. Malik lowers her head. Hassan tells her that he does not know whether he can forgive her. He also says forgiveness is not the same important question at this moment. What matters is whether she is willing to place where he is dangerous to correct the damage she helped create. Malik says she is. Hassan warns her that Yusei will use her guilt against her. He will make her believe she has no path back. Hassan says a person cannot change the past, but they can decide what the past turns them into. Malik leaves the room, deeply affected by his words. The group gathers in an unused hospital's office. Mud traces photographs, address, and time across a table. He has found three food storage facilities near the industrial district. with blue gates. Only one has an old football symbol painted on the wall. It was once used by a sports equipment company before closing. The building is not controlled by a business linked to one of user relatives. Mart has also checked the dark when a traffic camera recorded part of its number plate near the beach. The vehicles later traveled toward the industrial area. This gives them a strong lead. Nas says they should provide everything to the police immediately. Emmer agrees, but he fears the money will be removed before offers receive permissions to search the building. Mer suggests watching the warehouse and reporting any moment. They will not enter unless then they see the money or Hassan's operations bag. Hasaido has another problem. A local man named only as the broker has heard about Hassan's situations and offered to provide the full amount within one day. The broker agrees. Illegal football betting and has been trying to recruit talented young players for poor neighborhood. He wants Emma to influence the result of an important match in exchange for the money. Emma refuses before Sado finishes explaining. Sado says he knows Emma would refuse, but he still believes they should consider every path. Hassan's become angry from his bed. He says an operation bound by betraying their team would not save his life. It would only make him responsible for destroying Emma's dreams. Sado argues that dream means nothing if Hassan cannot live to see them. Emma tells him that Yusei is already trying to prove property and force them to sell everything they believe in. Accepting the broken offer would prove Yusei right. Sado leaves the room feeling stressed. Nobody understands the pressure inside him. He loves Hassan, but he also carried guilt because he has encouraged everyone to attend a Lena party. He believes that if he had stayed near the money, the thief might have failed. Outside the hospitals, the broker assistants approach him. The man says the offer does not need Emmer permissions. Sado can arrange events around the match without telling the others. A missed message and unlocked gate or a late arrival could change the result. The assistant places a card in Sado's hands and says 4 million lira can solve many moral problems. Sado throws the card onto the ground, but after the man leaves, he picks it up. He tells himself he only wants that contact number in case every other plan fails. Yet the decisions create a secret that may later places him against his own friend Nas and Emma travel to the industrial district before sunset. They use an old delivery vehicles boarded from the shopkeeper to use. A man will not recognize them. Might follow on a motorcycle and spark a different entrance. Malik remain at the hospital because you expect her to stay away from Emmer. Sado watches Hassan from across the road. Emmer sees the blue gate and faded football mark described by Malik. A dark van is parked beside the building. Two men carry boxes through a side entrance. One box is similar in size to the container used for Hassan's funds. Nas takes photographs. Emmer wants to move closer, but she tells him to wait until Mart reaches the back. Mart circles the building and discovers a second van ready to leave. Through a broken sections of the wall, he sees a man transfer a black sport bag from the warehouse to the vehicles. The bag resembles the one she is security recording outside Emmer house. Mart sent a photograph to Nas. Emmer heartbeat speed up when she is the operation's money may be only a few meters away. Mud calls the police contact and reports that suspect stolen property is being moved. The offer says a team will come but traffic may delay them. Amar watches the second when engines start. Waiting could mean losing Hassan's last chance. Nas tells Amar not to move. She says they can follow the van instead of entering the warehouse. Amar agrees and they prepare to drive. After it, however, just as the gate opens, a young boy runs into the road catching a football. The van stops suddenly. One of Yuse's men gets out and shouts at the child. His face turns toward Amar's vehicles. Amar lowers his head, but the man ceases to recognize him. He speaks into a radio. The blue gate immediately begins closing. The van reserve inside their chance to follow it despairs. Mud reports movement at the back entrance. Several men have entered the warehouse and about is walking toward his hiding place. Emma tells him to leave, but Mud says he can still reach the side door. Naz warns both men that this is exactly what is Yuse may want. Emma says they now have photograph connecting the van and back to the building. They should withdraw and for the police must start moving away, but someone attacks him from behind. His telephone falls to the ground while the call remains connected. Amar and Naz hear the struggles, then silence. Amar opens the delivery vehicle's door. Naz grabs his arm and says rushing inside will not help much. Amar answers that he cannot leave. His friend Naz says she is not asking him to leave. She is asking him to think. They need another entrance and a way to draw the guards away. She noticed the fuel drums stored near an empty workshop across the road, but she does not suggest setting a fire because workers may be nearby. Instead, she sees an old alarm box on the outside wall. If the noise may cause confusion, and for some of them to check the main gate. Emma understands. He uses a stone to break the alarm cover and pulls the emergency switch. A loud bell begins ringing through the industrial street inside the warehouse. Yuse watches the security camera from a hidden office. He sees Emma and Naz moving forward the side wall. He smiles because they have entered his camp, but he is annoyed that Murt was caught earlier than planned. He ordered his men not to seriously hurt Murt. They must keep him visible, so Emma tries to rescue him. One guard asks whether the police may come. Yuse says the building contains nothing illegal. The real money has already been moved into a smaller locked room beneath the office. While the bag prepared for Emma contains fake notes and the same weapon Malik was meant to plant. If Emma touches it, Yuse will have the image he needs. The alarm causes two guards to run outside. Emma enters through the side door while Naz stays near the exit and watches the camera. She noticed one camera turning as though controlled by someone is building. She messages Emma that they are begin watch. Emma moves through rows of empty sleeves and old sports equipment. The place smells of oil and dust. He finds Mud tied to a chair. In the center of a wide room, a black bag lies on the floor beside him. Mud shakes his head urgently, warning Emma not to approach. Emma sees a small light about the bag and understands that a camera is aimed directly at it. Instead of touching the bag, Emmer shows a metal object and the camera. The lens brakeman stops from behind the sheaves. Emmer fights the first attacker and pushes an other attackers into a stack of empty boxes. He reaches Mort and begins cutting the rope with a sharp piece of metal. More footsteps come from the hallway. Naz enters despite Emmer's order to remain outside. She uses a fire to fill the room with white powder, making it difficult for the guards to see. Mud break free and the three moves toward the sides. Exist before they reach it. Use a voice come through a speakers. He tell Emmer that every door is locked and that the police will soon find him inside private property beside a bag of stolen cash. Emmer answers that Yusei talk too much from a man who believes he can already won. While Yusei was speaking, Mart used his telephones to record the voice. It may not prove the thief, but it proves Yusei's control the warehouse operations. Yusei turns off the speakers. He ordered to the guard to stop them before the police arrive. Nas find an emergency relief beside the loading store. The machine is old and difficult to move. Mart and Emmer pull it together. While Nas watches the hallway, the door rises only a few consignments. Emmer tells Nas to crawl through first. She refuses to leave without them. Emmer says somebody must reach the road and guide the police. Nas finally slides beneath the door. Outside, Nas hears approaching sirens for a moment. Hope returns, then a dark car turns from another street and blocks the police routes with a strange accident. Yusei has prepared delay in every direction. Nas calls the officers and tells him to use the eastern road. She then sees another vehicle leaving through a rear gate hidden behind the warehouse. It is a small grey car, not one of the van. The driver is the man who met Malik at the cafe. A black sport bag sits on the back seat. Nas realizes the warehouse bag was a trap and the real money is leaving through the hidden exit. She has only sent seconds to decide. Emmer and Mart are still trapped inside, but the police are approaching. If she follows the grey car, she may recover Sassan's money. If she stays, she may help save Emmer. Nas calls Emmer and quickly explains what she has seen. Emmer tells her to follow the money. Nas says she will not leave him in danger. Emmer reminds her that everything they are doing if Hassan the police can help him and Mud, but only Nas has seen the grey car. He says he trusts her. The word carries more meaning than a simple instructions. Nas gets into the delivery vehicles and follow the car from a distance. Inside the warehouse, Emmer and Mud finally lift the leading door enough to escape. A guard grabs Mud's leg, but Emmer pulls him free. They roll beneath the metal door and run toward the road. The first police vehicle arrives moment later. Yusei leaves through a private passage connected to the office. By the time officers enter, he has disappeared. They find the fake bag, broken camera, the planted weapons, and several guards who claims Emmer attacked them without reasons. Mud gives the officers the recording of Yuse's voice and show photograph from the near walls. The police agree that the situation requires a full investigation, but Emmer worries about Nas. Her telephone signals is becoming weaker as she followed the grey car away from the industrial area. Nas keep enough distance to avoid discovery. The grey car moves toward the older part of the city, passing crowded streets and narrow roads. She sends her live locations to Emmer. The car finally enters an underground parking area beneath an unfinished building. Naz parks outside and watches the entrance. She knows going inside alone would be dangerous. She wants for Emmer, but a message arrives from an unknown number. It says you should not have followed. Naz looks around. A motorcycle is parked behind her vehicles and the riders too, wearing a dark helmet. Before she can look the door, the riders break the side window and reaches inside. Nas fights back, striking his arm with a metal flashlight. She managed to start the vehicles and drive away, but the motorcycle follow. Emma received Nas locations and heard the attack through their opens call. He takes Mud motorcycle and races toward her. Mud stay with the police to complete the reports. Emma tells Nas not to lead the attackers toward an empty road. She should remain near shop and pupils. Nas returns into a crowded market street where the motorcycle cannot easily move. She stops near a group of security workers and the attackers disappears into another lane. Emma reaches her minutes later. He sees the broken window and asks whether she is hurt. Na says her arm is cut but she is fine. Emma's fear changes into anger. He says he never should have allowed her to follow the car. Nas answers that he did not allow anything. They made a discussions together. She also says the attack proved the grey car carried something important. The two returns to the unfinished building, this time with the police spots. The underground parking area is almost empty. The grey car has been abandoned and its number plate is false. They search the back seat and find several small pieces of paper from the operation fund. Emma recognized a handwritten note Hassan's mother had placed inside the bag. The message asked, however, receive the money to protect her sons. This proved the real bag was inside the car. However, the cash itself is gone. A service door leads from the parking area into an old underground shopping passage with several exits. Usually, man could have transferred the bag to another vehicle or escape on foot. Emmer picked up the handwriting notes with shaking hand. They came close enough to touch the trail. Yet the money has disappeared again. Nas tells him this is still progress. They know the money and was the bond. They have proved that it was moved through the warehouse and the grey car. Emmer says proof will not pay for Hassan's operations. Nas answers that despair is exactly what Yuse wants. Emmer time they discover one part of the plan. Yuse must take a greater risk to hide the next part. Eventually he will make a mistake. Emmer looks at her injured arms and says she could be being seriously harmed because of him. Nas becomes frustrated. She asks why she believes every decision made by people around him is his responsibility. She followed the car because she chose to help Hassan. She stood beside Emmer because she chose him, not because he pulled her into his life. The final word surprises both of them. Nas turns away, but Emmer gently stops her. He asks what she means. When she says she choose him, Naz says this is not the right place or time. Amar answers that there may be a perfect time is not be their world. Every peaceful moment is interrupted by another's problems. If they also wait for life to become safe, they may never say anything honest. Naz looked at him and admitted that her feelings are no longer simpler friendship she knows. He says recently ended a difficult relationships and she does not expect an immediate answer. She only wants him to stop treating her like someone who must be pushed away for protection. Amar says he is afraid. Naz expected many answers but not that one. Amar explained that everyone he loves become a target. Hassan lost his operations money. Mert was captured. Shadow is carrying pressure. He cannot explain. Naz was attacked in the street. Amar believes loving someone gives you and other weapons. Nas tells him refusing love also gives you power because it also fear the decide their lives. She does not ask Emma from a promise. She only asks him not to leave about what exists between them. Emma moves closer, but therefore they can share the quiet moment. Mert calls with urgent news. The police have examined the fake notes left in the warehouse. Most are ordinary printed papers, but several genius notes were planned on top that make the bag look revealed from a distance. One genius note carries a small mark used by Hassan when she friend count the operations fund. This means user divided the real crash before moving it. Mert also found information but about the telephone used by the van driver. It connected to a tower near the city bus stations. After leaving the underground passage, someone may be preparing to send the money out of Istanbul. Amar and Naz returns to the hospital. Naz is sleeping but Shadow waits in the hallway. He asks whether they found the money. Amar tells him the trust it still exists but Yuse is moving it. Shadow becomes furious and says their careful plan achieved nothing. He believes they should accept the broken before Hassan's medical chance despairs. Amar asks how Shadow know the offer is still available. Shadow realizes he has revealed too much. Amar sees the car in his pocket and understands that Shadow kept contract with the illegal group. Their argument becomes intense. Shadow accuses Amar of protecting his pride while Hassan's become weaker. Amar says working with the broker will place all of them under another dangerous man's control. Shadow answers that poor people do not always receive clean choices. Hassan wakes hear their voices. He leaves the room with difficulty and tells them to stop. He says Uze did not want the real money, yet the has already achieved part of his goal by turning the friend against one another. Hassan tells Shadow to destroy the broker card. Shadow refuses, saying it is only a final operation. Hassan takes the card from his hand and tears it into pieces. He says that if his futures require Amar to betray football, Mer to speak the law, or Shadow to sell his freedom, then it is not a future he wants. Shadow walks answer it dangers. but tears fill his eyes when nobody can see his face. Malik receives another call from Yuse. He knows the police searched the warehouse and he now understands that she betrayed him. Instead of shouting, he speaks calmly. He says, Hassan's will never reach the uh, operating room because Malik has made the situation personal. Malik asks where he has taken the money. User laugh and user should worry about he where sent the evidence against her. After the call, Malik checked her bag and find that he edited records device is missing. Someone must have entered the hospital room while she was speaking with Hassan. A few minutes later, several um, several social media accounts began sharing an audio clip in which Malik appears to describe the location of Hassan's money and asks Yuze man to take it. Yuze's voice is absent to anyone hearing only the recording. Malik sounds like the main persons behind the thief. Pupils gather outside the hospitals and demand answers. Some are shout and Malik when she tries to leave. Hassan's mother stands between her and her crowd. Even though Malik has caused her family pain, she says punishment should come through laugh and uh, not through and any angry group. Amar watches this act of mockery and remember Hassan worrying about becoming like Yuze. He tells the crowd that Malik made serious mistake but the recording has been edited. He says she is now helping them find the real criminal. Many people do not believe him. A reporters record Amar defeating her and the video quickly spared. Yuze watches from his office and smiles. He believes Amar's loyalty will make the public turn against him. Now studies the leak recordings and noticed a faint sounded behind Malik's voice. It resembles a situation announcement. She asked Malik where the original conversations took place. Malik says she gave Yuze the information in a parked car near a small train station. Naz realized that the background sound may identify the exact time and place of the unedited recording. If nearby cameras captures Yuze entering the car with Malik, they can prove he was present. More importantly, Yuze may have stored the original audio and on a device connected to his office system. Mart says recovering it illegally may be difficult, but Malik remembered that Yuze keep backup files in a private good account. She once saw the password written in a coded from inside a notebook. Malik says the notebook it is Yuze's main office. Emma refuses to let her go there alone. Malik answers that Yuze will expect everyone expect her. He believes she is frightening and publicly ruined. She can pretend to the ask for forgiveness and officers new information about Amber plans. Nas suggests to give Malik false information that leads Yuze away from the bus stations. If he believes Amber is searching the wrong place, his man may relax while moving the cash. More develop the idea futures Malik will tell Yuze that Amber plans to search a Greg's near the docks. Meanwhile, Mart and Nas will examine with bus station's camera while Amar stay near Hassan's to avoid making the story look suspicious. Amar does not like remaining behind, but Hassan tells him leadership is not always about standing closest to dangers. Sometimes it means trusting others to complete their part. Malik prepared to meet Yusuf. Before leaving, she asked Amr whether he will never forgive her. Amr, she says, cannot answer now. The damage is too fresh, and Hassan's futures remain uncurtained. However, he tells her that doing the right things should not depend on receiving forgiveness. Malik accepts the answers. It hurts, but it also hears from the hope that one brave act restores everything she lost. As bus stations, Nas and Mart discover that a man carrying a black sports bag purchases a ticket to another city but never aboards the bus. He enters the platform area, waited until the final calls, then left through a staff corridor. This means the ticket was a false trail. The man wanted camera to show the money leaving the Istanbul while the security remaining in the city. Mart checks the staff exists and finds a delivery area connected to several local courier companies. One company uses motorcycle with large locked boxes. A worker remembers a man paying cash to send a heavy package across the city. The destinations in a luxury sports club connected to one of Yuse's business partners. Naz realizes Yuse is hiding Hassan's operations fund inside a place Amr would never be able to enter without attracting attention. The club has private security, membership records, and many cameras. Breaking inside would use sports. Yuse claimed that Amr is a criminal. They need someone who can enter. Normally, Naz has a possible connections through Alina, whose family attend events at the club. She calls Alina and explains only part of the situation. Alina is shocked to learn that her party helped Yuse created the destructions. She agrees to invite Mart and asks guests that evening. Meanwhile, Malik enters Yuse's office wearing a hidden microphone. Yuse makes her wait while he watches news reports, blaming her. When he finally appears, he asks why she has come. Malik says Amr has abandoned her. The neighborhood hates her, and the police may arrest her. She claims she wants to repair their partnership. Yuse tells her that trust is impossible. After the warehouse raid, Malik says she can prove her loyalty by revealing Amr's next move. She gives him the false information about the dock garage. Yuse studies her face, searching for fear or dishonest. Malik forces herself to remain still. Yuse asks why Amr would search the dock. Malik says Nas found our shipping papers inside the grey car. Yuse did leave note and all shipping papers there. I thought it has nothing to do with the money. This small true detail make the believable. He calls one of him men and order extra guards to the dock. As he turns away, Malik sees the notebook on the desk. She creates a distraction by dropping a glass while Yuse's assistants clean the floor. Malik photographs 2 pages. Yuse suddenly takes her telephone and checks the recent image. Malik hurts almost stop, but she has set the photograph to upload the despairs from the screen. Yuse find Malik heart almost stop, but she had the photograph to upload the despairs from the screen. Yuse find nothing. He turns the phone and warns her that another betrayal will cost More than her reputation at the sport club, Alina leads Nas and Mert through the main entrance. They pretend to be discussing a charity football event. Mert noticed a curious motorcycle parked near a several door. Its delivery box is empty, but the workers say the package was taken to a private office. Upstairs, the office belongs to Yu's business partner. Alina cannot access that floor without permission. Nas asks whether there is another route. Alina remembers a preparations area used during large events as several service lift contact it to the private office. They enter the lift while staff members are distracted by our dinner event. The private floor is quiet. Mud check the office door while Naz watches the corridors. One room had a new electronic lock. Through the glass wall, they see a black sports bag inside a cabinet. Mud believe it is the same bag taken from Emmer house. Before they can enter, footsteps approach. They hide inside a supply room. Use a business partner arrives with two security guards. He opens the office and removes several bundles of money from the bag. He says the cash must be divided into smaller amounts and placed through different accounts. Nas records the conversations through a narrow gap in the door. The man mentions Yuse by name and complains that stealing medical donations has brought unnecessary attentions. This is the strongest evidence they have found. Mud scanned the records and heard the location to the police officers. However, this telephone make a quiet sound after the file upload. One guard heard it and opened the supply room. Nas and Mud and discovered they do not fight. Nas immediately said they are guests who entered the wrong area, but the guard sees her telephone recording. The business partner ordered its men to take both devices and lock them inside the office until users decide what to do. The police officers receive one only part of the recording before the connections and he hears user name the word medical donations and a reference to divided cash. It may be enough to request immediate action, but he still needs to confirm the locations. Alina waits downstairs and becomes worried when Nas and Mud do not return. She calls Emmer. Emmer is still at the hospital. When he hears what happens, he prepares to leave, but Hassan stops him. Against Hassan says rushing into a private club will create another trap. Emmer steals him. Nas may be locked inside. Hassan answers that this time they have someone already in the building. Alina can activate the fire alarm there, the public area, and for security to open emergency exits. Emmer calls here, explain the plan. Alina pulls the alarm. Music stops, suggests stand, and staff begins guiding everyone outside. On the private floor, the guards become directed by emergency instructions. Mud uses a heavy lamp to break the office window. He and Naz climb into the neighbor burning room and reach the service stairs. Before leaving, Naz grabs Hassan black sports bag from the cabinet. It feels lighter than expected. They escape through the kitchen while the business partner shout the security to stop them. Outside, police vehicles arrives. The officer takes the bag and open in front of witness. Inside are only several bundle of Virginia's notes far less than 4 million lira. The business partners claim the money belongs to the club. Nas show the save recording from the cloud account. It clearly mentions use and stolen medical donation. The police take the man for questioning and search the office. They find records showing transfer planned through several accounts. Yet most of Hassan's cash has already been moved against. Nas calls Amr and say they recovered part of the fund and important evidence. Amr allows himself to feel hope for the first time. Then the hospital doctors approach with a serious expression. Hassan's latest test show this his condition is changing faster than expected. The hospital has received an opening for operations in 2 days, but the full payment must be confirmed by the following evening. If they miss the opening, the next available date may be too late. Amr does not tell Hassan immediately. He walks to the hospital roof and looks over the city. From above him, Istanbul appears rich and full of opportunity, but the neighborhood below remains trapped beneath the weight of money and power. Naz joins him after returning from the club. She places the recovered bag beside him and says they have found only a smart part, but it proves use can be beaten. Amr tells her about the deadlines. Naz hope weakens, yet she refuses to surrender. She says they now have 24 hours to find the rest. Malik and the photograph of Yuze notebook. Mud studies the coded password and realizes the number may refer to football shirt numbers and important dates. Emma recognizes the sequence and the source of the date of the match. Yuze once considers has greatest victory. They use the code of enter the CUD account. Inside are recordings, payment record, photograph and instructions, and man is the man. They find the original conversation with Malik, proving Yuze's role in the theft. They also discover a recent message saying move the meaning amount to the old stadium before midnight. The old stadium stand abandons near the edge of the Yonkers. It is the place where Amr, Hassan, Sato and Mud first learned to play football together. Yuze has chosen his he is not simply hiding the money, he is turning the place of their earliest dream into the final ground of the revenge. Emma returns to Hassan's room and tells him the truth about the deadlines and the stadium message. Hassan asks whether Emma believes the information is real. Emma says it may be another trap, but they cannot ignore it. Sado enters and says they will face it together. He has finally destroyed the broker contact number. He apologizes for allowing fear to turn him against his friend. Emma embarrasses without another arguments might arrive with Nas and say the police are preparing to search the stadium. But Yuze may be watching official movement. They need a plan that protects the money before he can destroy or may move it again. Hassan says he is going with them. Everyone refuses. Hassan answers that Yuze has built this entire fight around this weakness. As long as the remain hidden in a hospital's bag, Yuze control the meaning of the story. Hassan wants to face him and show that losing money has not destroyed his will. The doctor will never allow him to leave, but Hassan says he does not need to enter the stadium. He also needs to be close enough to remind his friend why they must return safely. Late that night, two vehicles leave the hospital from different exits. One carries Amar, Nas, Sado and Mark toward the old stadium. The second carried Hassan with his mother and a medical worker who has arranged to stay nearby after learning about the emergency. Malik travels separately while pretending to work for Yuze. The police keep their distance, waiting for a clear signal. At the center of the Bordeaux Stadium, Jose stands beneath broken lights. A black bag rests on the all patiently spots. Around him, hidden men wait in the empty stand. Jose receives a message saying Amar is approaching. He smiles and looks at the silent field. He believes this will be the night Amar chooses between Hassan's life and his own future. What Jose does not know is that the four friends are no longer following the plan he expected. They have learned from every trap. Amar will not enter through the main gate. Shadow will not attack in anger. Malt will not carry a telephone that can be easily tracked. Naz will not remain outside the center of the plan. Malik will not obey from fear. Even Hassan's weak and in pain refuses to be treated as a helpless reason for others people's choices. The sections will choose close and Emma reaches a tunnel beneath the stadium and sees fresh footprints leading toward the pitch. At the same moment, Nas discovers rides connected to the stadium lights. Might find a second black bag hidden beneath the all changing room bench. Shadow hears someone moving behind them outside. Hassan watches the broken stadium from the vehicles and suddenly recognizes a man entering through the far gate. The man is not one of Yuse's guards, he is the broker assistant. Hassan reaches for his telephone to warn Amr, but before the call connects, the stadium light turns on at all. Once Yuse's voice fits the empty stands, he welcomes Amr back to the field where his dream began and announced that before the night and one of those dreams will be buried forever. Amr steps out of the tunnels, but he is not looking at Yuse. His eyes are fixed on the black bag at the patiently spot where smoke has started rising from a small device attached beneath it. The real fight for Hassan's future is about to begin. Altı, Üstü, Istanbul is the next episode. Will continue inside the Bordeaux Stadium where the bright lights suddenly turns the empty football field into a dangerous stage. Amr stands at the end of the tunnel and watches smoke rise from the black bag placed on the patiently spokes. User voice echoes from the old speakers, but Amr does not move toward the bag. He understands that every object in front of him may be part of a trap. The money could be real, the smoke could come from a bomb, or Yuse may simply be trying to force him into the open. Behind Amr's shadow waits in the shadow with his fists closed. Mert studies the tunnel wall, searching for hidden cameras. Naz looks at the wires connected to the stadium light and realizes that Yuse has prepared the entire building for his moment. Outside, Hassan sits inside the medical vehicles and tries to call Amr, but the signal suddenly disappeared. The stadium has been surrounded by a device blocking telephone communications. Hassan can see the broker assistant entering through a distance gate, yet she has no way to warn his friend. Amr slowly steps onto the field. He keeps his eyes on the smoking bag but listens carefully to the sounds around him. The broken seat appears empty, although he can feel men watching from several directions. User tells him to walk toward the penalty spot. Amr asks whether the bag contains Hassan money. User answers that his container a choice. If Amr wants to know more, he must move closer. Amr says he has already learned not to trust a choice created by Yuse. The smoke becomes thicker, covering the grass around the bag. Naz follows the electric wires toward a control box beneath the stand. She finds a small time connected to the field light and another wire leading toward the penalty area. At first, she believed the device may be explosive. After looking more closely, She says that it controls a smoke machine hidden beneath the ground. The smoke is meant to create fear, not destruction. She quietly tells Mert, who passes the information to Emmer through a small radio that does not depend on the telephone network. Emmer takes another step and tells Yusei that his performance is impressive but empty. He says a man who truly intends to destroy something does not need slides, speakers, camera, and an audience. Yusei becomes annoyed. He wants Emmer to show fear, but Emmer calmed word weakens the power of the sentence. Yusei orders him to open the bag. Emmer refuses. He says Yusei can come onto the field and open it himself. For several seconds, no one answers. Yusei appears at the entrance of the opposite tunnels. He is wearing a dark coat and walking slowly, as though he owns the stadium. Two guards remain several steps behind him. Yusei says Emmer has become braver since Nas entered his life. Emmer answers that Nas did not give him courage. She reminded him that courage without throw is only another form of weakness. Nas heard the word through the radio and understand that Emmer is not simply distracting Yusei, he is also tells that trust her plan. While Emmer keeps Yusei attention on the field, Mert enters the old changing room where they found the second black bag. It is hidden beneath a damaged wooden bench and feels much heavier than the one at the penalty spot. He does not open it immediately. He examined the lock and noticed a small green light near the handle. The bag contains a tracking device. If they carry it away, Yusei will be able to follow them. Mert takes a photograph, then searches the room for another exit. Behind a row of rusty lockers, he finds a narrow service door leading toward an underground storage area. Fresh marks on the study floor show that heavy objects were recently moved through it. He radios Naz and tells her that the visible bag may not contain the real money. Someone has been using the lower level of the stadium. Shadow waits near the main gate where he sees the broken assistants moving between the shadow. The man raises both hands to show that he is not carrying a weapon. He tells Shadow that they need to speak. Shadow asks why he has come. The assistants say Yusei and the broker are not allies, even though both men use similar methods. According to him, Yusei recently looked something belonging to the broker. The broker now wants to teach him a lesson. If Shadow helps locate Hassan's money, the broker will protect the friend during their escape. Shadow does not believe the offers. He says the broker never helps anyone without demanding a greater price later. The assistant smiles and admits that this is true. He says the price has already been explained. Emmer must lose an important football match. Shadow orders him to leave, but the assistants give him a small remote control. He says the device can open the metal gates around the stadium. If users trap them inside Shadow and may need it, he then despairs before Shadow can return it. Hassan watches this meeting from the vehicles. He cannot hear the conversations, but he sees the object passed into Shadow's hand. His worry grows stronger. Hassan knows Shadow loves him like a brother, but he also knows fear can push loyal people toward terrible decisions. Hassan asks the medical worker to move the vehicles closer to the entrance. His mother refuses. She says leaving the safe area may place him in danger. Hassan answers that his friends are already inside because of him. Remembering at a distance will not protect anyone. His mothers remind him that the operation is only 2 days away of he can recover the payment. Hassan says there will be no operation if the friend destroys themselves tonight. He tries to open the vehicle's door, but pain moves through his body. His mother catches him before he falls. He tells him that bravery does not mean pretending his condition has disappeared. Hassan looks toward the stadium and says weakness does not remove his responsibility. On the field, Yusuf finally walks toward the smoking bag. Amr studies his face and sees confidence, but he also notices that Yusuf keeps looking toward one of the higher stands. Someone more important may be watching from there. Yusuf stops near the penalty area and tells Amr that Hassan's future can still be saved. He says the 4 million lira may be returned if Amr accepts three conditions. First, Amr must leave the football team and publicly admit that he has been involved in illegal gaming. Second, he must end contact with Nas. Third, he must convince Malik. Then she also planned the thief. Yusuf believes these conditions will destroy Amr's dreams, his love, and his loyalty at the same time. Amr asks what Yusuf will again after taking everything. Yusuf says peace. Amr answers that a person who needs to control everyone around him will never know peace. Yusuf's calm expressions break. He says Amr has no right to speak about his life. Amr grew up surrounded by a friend who would sacrifice everything for him, while Yusuf grew up in a house where every mistake became a weapon. His father's measured love through success, money, and obedience. When Yusuf failed, he was treated as an embarrassment. When he won, he was told the victory belonged to the family name. Yusuf says Amr cannot understand what it is like to have everything and still feel that none of it truly belongs to him. Amr listens without insulting him. He says pain may explain why Yusuf became cruel, but it does not excuse the choices he made. Many people suffer without burning another man's chance to receive treatment. Yusuf replies that goodness is easier when a person has nothing to lose. Amr says Yusuf has already lost more than he understands because nobody beside him is there from love. The world reached deeper than Amr expected. Yusuf looked toward his guard and for one brief moment to see the trust that follow him because they are bad or frightening. Amr worked with him because she was angry. Even his business partner remained close only while his family power protected them. Yusuf quickly hides the doubt. He takes a lighter from the pocket and holds it above the smoking bag. He tells Amr to decide before the bag burns. Amr does not move. He says if the real money were inside, Yusuf would never stand so close while holding a flame. The smoke is cold, the grass is not burning, and the bag for a performance. Yusuf's face reveals a small sign of surprise. Amr has understood the trick. Nas reaches the control room beneath the western stand. Inside, several screens show live image for cameras around the stadium. She sees Amr and Yusuf on the field, shadow near the gate, and Mud entering the underground storage passage. And other screens show Hassan medical's vehicle outside. This means Yusuf knows Hassan is nearby. Now search the desk and find a map of the stadium marked with 3 red circles. One circle is one of the penalty spot, another beneath the changing room, and the third is near the medical vehicles. She realizes the friends are not the only target. Yusuf may be planning to frightenings or captures Hassan as well. She tries to use the control systems to open the main gate, but it requires a password. She remembers the code found is Yusuf's hood account and enters the same numbers. The system rejects them. Yusuf has changed his security after discovering the earlier access. Mud enters the lower level and finds an old equipment tunnel running beneath the field. The air is cold and the water drips from damaged pipes and several new metal boxes have been placed along the walls. He opens the first box and finds bundles of paper cut the size of banknotes. The second contains cameras and recording equipment. In the third box, he discovers documents carrying Amber's name and false signatures. Use plan to create evidence suggested that Amber borrowed money from illegal group. Mud photograph everything at the end of the tunnel. She sees a locked steel door. Voices come from the other side. One man says the transfer vehicles will arrive in 10 minutes, and others says they should move the medical package before the police appears. Mud believes the real money is behind the door. He radios Emmer, but the underground walls weakens the signal. Only part of the message reaches the field. Emmer hears the words real money and 10 minutes. He understands that time is running out. Instead of continuing using conversations, he suddenly kicks the smoking bag away from the penalty spot. The lighter from Yuse's hand, one guard runs toward Emmer, but Emmer moves aside and uses the man's speed against him. The guard falls onto the grass. The second man reaches inside his coat. Emmer does not wait to see whether he is pulling a weapon. He strikes the man, alarms, and pushes him away. Uses step back and orders the hidden guards to enter the field. Men rise from behind the seat and begin move down the stadium stairs. Shadow sees them are presses the remote control given by the broker assistants. The metal gates around the western stand suddenly open. The device works, but it is also activate the stadium old emergency alarm. A loud sound fills the building. User turns toward the gate in shock. He did not know anyone else could control the system. Shadow runs onto the field and joins Emmer. He says they have less than 10 minutes before the real money is moved. Emmer asks where he found the remote. Shadow says they can discuss in later. Emmer understands that Shadow is hiding something, but there is no time for another. The changing room tunnel while Yuse man follow. Naz uses the confusions to leave the control room. Before going, she removes the storage device connected to the camera system. It may contain recording proving Yuse planned the trap. As she enters the corridors, a guard appears in front of her. He tells her to stand over the device. Naz says she does not know what he means. The guard reaches for the bag, but she pulls the emergency alarm lever beside the door. A heavy fire barrier drops between them. The guard is trapped on the other side, and Naz escapes toward the lower level. She hears Yuse shouting through the speaker that nobody will leave and with the money. His voice is no longer calm. His carefully controlled plan is beginning to fail. Outside, Hassan's mother noticed two men approaching the medical vehicles from behind. She locks the door and tells the driver to start moving. The engine does not respond. One of Yuse's men has cut a cable beneath the vehicles. The medical workers call from police spot, but the block signal prevents the call. Hassan says the man carrying tools that could break the window. He looks around the noticed an old monument and road leading toward the stadium entrance. He asks the driver whether the vehicles can roll without the engines. The road slopes downward. The driver releases the brake and the vehicles begins moving slowly. The two men try to hold it, but the weight is too great. The vehicles roll through the open metal gate activated by Shadow remotes and enters the stadium. ground. Hassan's unexpected arrivals appear on the control screen. User sees the vehicles moving toward the lower entrance and understands that his men have failed to capture it. He ordered more guards to block the road. Amr hears the vehicle's wheels from inside the tunnel. He looks through an opening and sees Hassan's mother at the window. He realizes Hassan is now inside the danger zone. Amr turns back, but Shadow stops him. Shadow says Nas and Mert can continue searching while they protect Hassan. Amr does not want to divide the group again. Shadow tells him they have no choice. Hassan's vehicle is moving directly toward the part of the stadium marked on user map. Amr radio Nas and tells him to reach Mert. Her and Shadow run toward the lower entrance. When they arrive, the medical vehicles has stopped again. A pile of an training equipment. Hassan is shaken by conscious. His mother angrily asks why the stadium gate opened. Shadow admits that he used a device given by the broker assistant. Hassan says he was the meeting. Amr looked at Shadow with his wide disappointment. Shadow explained that he does not expect the match fixing deals. He only took the remote because it could help them escape. Amr says expecting even a small tool from the broker creates a depth. Shadow answers that without the remote they might has already be trapped. When both men are partly right, but there is no time to decide which danger is greater. The broker assistant appears at the end of the road. He tells him that they must leave immediately. User transfer is vehicles approaching as armed men and coming with it. Amr asks why the broker is interested in Hassan's operations. Money. The assistant finally reveals that the 4 million lira is no longer only Hassan fund. User mixes the cash with money stolen from an illegal betting operation. He intends to move everything together and blame Amr if the transfer was discovered. The broker does not care about Hassan, justice or friendship. He wants his own money. Return. The assistants say the black spot bag contain marked bag notes belonging to both sides. Whoever takes the bag will become a target to use the broker and the police. Hassan asks whether there is a way to separate the operations money from the illegal cash. The assistants say the friend marked many of their notes. When counting the donations, those marks can help prove ownership, but only if the bag reaches the police before user destroy the record. Amr asks why the assistant is telling them this. The man says he has worked for the broker for 6 years and knows that nobody leaves that world freely. Helping them may be his friend only chance to create a case strong enough to bring down both powerful men. Shadow does not trust him. The assistants agree that he should not. He trust is not required. They only need the same result of the next 15 minutes. Mert reaches the steel door underground. The search the documents find in the tunnel and discover an access card attached at one pile. The card opens the lock behind the door. Two men are placing buildings of money into a sealed plastic package. The black sport bag lines open on a table. Mert stay hidden and begins recording. One man say user orders them to place several marked notes inside Amr lockers after the transfer. The other say the plan is becoming too risky. They agree to fake the money to a boat waiting near the old ferry yard. This new information changes everything. The money is not leaving by road. Our vehicles will only carry if the stadium to the waters. Nas reaches mud through the service tunnel. Together they watch the man finish packing the money. Mud whispers that they should wait until the package are moved. If they attack now, the men may lock themselves inside or destroy evidence. Nas points toward a small ventilation window leading to the service road. She can see the headlights of a van approaching. They decide to let the man carry the money out, then block the tunnel behind them. Nas removes a metal bar from a broken shelf and places it near the heavy door. Mud keeps record every bundles and every word on the field. User realized Emmer has disappeared from views. He returns to the control room and discovers the storage device is missing. His anger becomes panic. The camera records could connect him to the false evidence, the guards, and the money transfer. He calls his father assistant and asks for immediate help. The assistant says Yusei was warned not to continue his personal fight. The family will not send more than to clean another careless mistakes. Yusei says the situations could damage the family business. The assistant answers that the family has already prepared a statement describing Yusei as a troubled young man acting alone. If the police become involved, his fathers will protect the company, not him. Yusei and the call and stares at the dark screen. For the first time, he understands that his own family may sacrifice him as easily as he sacrificed others. The power he believes belongs to him was only borrowed. His father's name opened the door, but it could also close around him like a prison. Yusei considers escaping before the police arrive. Then he sees Emmer helping her sons from the damaged medical vehicles. Even if the medical of dangers, Emmer is surrounded by people who refuse to leave. Yusei lies turns back into rage. He decides that if he cannot win, he will make sure Emmer loses something that money cannot replace. She enters the security code and activates the locking system around the underground tunnels. Nas and Mert hear metal door closing behind them. Their planned escape routes disappear. The two men carrying the money also hear the lock. One calls Yusei and asks what is happening. Yusei orders them to leave around the several road and not stop of anyone. He then activates the field's water system. All sprinkles rise from the grass and begin spraying waters across the stadium. At first, the action appears meaningless. Then Emmer notes fuel spreading from containers near the lower entrance. The water pushes the fuel toward the road beside Hassan's vehicle. Yusei may be preparing to create a fire that block their escape without directly attacking them. Emmer tells everyone to move Hassan into the concrete tunnel. His mother and the medical workers spot him from both sides. Shadow search for the fuel source and find a damaged pipe connected to a temporary tank. He closes the valve, but a large amount has already reached the road. The broker assistant says Yusei will probably use the stadium light to create a spark. Emma radios Nas and asks whether she can stop the electrical system. Nas says she is trapped beneath the stadium, but she still has access to several control wires. Mert opens a wall panel and finds cables connect to the field. Nas cuts the line marked with the same symbols she saw on the stadium map. Half the lights immediately too dark. The sudden darkness gives Emmer and Shadow a chance to move. The transfer van reaches the underground service door. where Use man carry the sealed package outside. Mud and Nas hide behind all equipment. When the final package leaves the room, Mud pushes the metal bar through the door handle. The money handles are locked outside, separated from the supplies and weapons. Naz search the room and find a small emergency exit leading up to the field. She and Mud climb the narrow stairs. They reach an opening beneath the player bench and sees the transfer van moving toward the eastern gate. Mud Razio Emmer and tells him the real money is inside the van. Emmer asks Sado to remain with Hassan. Sado refuses, says he started part of his dangers by taking the broker remotes. He wants to help finish it. Hassan tells Sado to go. He says the medical workers and his mothers can protect him for a few minutes. Sado gives Hassan the remote control, explaining that one button open the western gate and another may control the eastern side. Hassan says he will use it when necessary. The broker assistants stay near him, although nobody fully trusts his protections. Emmer, Sado, Mud and Nas come together near the old planner's tunnel. The transfer van is less than 100 meters away. Use guards stand between them and the vehicles. Emmer says fighting every man will waste time. They need to use the stadium itself. Mud remembered the old movables goalpost stored near the eastern road. Sado and Emmer push one goal frame goal the slope. It rolls across the wet grass and falls in front of the van. The driver turns sharply to avoid it and crashes into a low concrete barriers. The engines remain active but the front wheel becomes trapped. Use man leave the van and form a line around the money. Nas tells Mar to continue recording. She believes exposing the trust is more important than winning a fight that could later be presented as an attack. Emmer will walk into the open and with an empty hand he tells the man the police already have part of user recording. If they continue protecting him, they will carry the same charges. One guard says Yuse's family will protect them. Emmer answers that Yuse's own father has refused to protect his sons. He does not know this is a comfort fact, but he guessed from Yuse's growing panic and lack of support. The uncertainty on the guards' faces tells him the guess is too the close to the trust. Sado adds that the money includes funds also from the broker. Anyone carry it will be haunted by a second criminal group. The guards begin look at one another. Their loyalty become weaker when they understand they may be abandoned by both sides. One man lowers his weapon and steps away, and other follow. The driver still refuses. He reaches into the van and takes one sealed package. Plan to escape on foot. Mud runs after him through the lowered seat. Sado moves toward the van while Emmer and Nas keep the remaining guards from closing the door. The driver climbs the stadium step with the package under his arm. Mud follows, but the distance between them grows. At the top of the stand, and driver reaches a damaged section where the outer wall he collapses. A motorcycle waits on the other side. Before he can climb through, Alina and Duru appears near the exit with two police officers. They had followed the location shared earlier and guide the officers through a road not blocked by Usain man. The driver turns back, but Murt now behind him. Trapped between them, he drops the package and raises his hand. The first police team enters the stadium. Usain sees the vehicles from the control room and prepares to leave through his private passage. When he opens the hidden door, Malik is standing on the other side. She had followed him after giving false information about the dog. She tells him the gate is over. Usually laugh and says she is the last person who should speak about betrayal. Malik answered that she betrayed people who once trusted her because she allowed jealousy to control her. She will carry that shame, but she will not keep helping him. Yuse asks whether she believes Amar will forgive after tonight. Malik says she is no longer doing this is on Amar's back. Yuse tries to move past her. Malik blocks the doorway and shows him tell the telephone the microphone is connected to a live recording stored outside the device. Everything he has will be saved even if he destroys the phone. Users say recording can be edited just as the edited hairs. Malik tells him the police also have the original files from his good account. His confidence disappears for a second. He grabs the phone and throws it against the wall, but the lips connections continue. Malik says destroying object will not destroy the trust. Yuse pushes her aside and enters the narrow passage. Malik follows, calling for the police. He reaches an exit behind the northern stand, where a small car is waiting. Before he enters it, Amar appears from the opposite side. Amar has been prepared. Opposite side had been movement on one of the remaining control screen and guessed that User would use the private road. User tells him to step away. Amar says the money is already begins recovered. The police have his man, the recording and the false documents. User replies that the police have only peace. His family lawyer will create doubt around every piece. Amar says this may be true. Powerful people often know how to turn clear fact into long arguments. However, Yuse has lost control of the story. His guards are speaking. His business partner has been questioned. Malik has confessed and the broker wants his own money. Returns. Yuse cannot frightening everyone into silence now. Yuse take a small knife from the car. Amar does not step back. Malik warns Yuse that another violent act will remove any chance of defending himself. Yuse says he stopped caring about defense the moment his father decided to abandon him. Yuse moved toward Amar with the knife, but his hand is shaking. Amar watching his eyes and understand that Yuse does not truly want to kill him. He wants Amar to attack first so he can feel like the victim of the final moment. Amar refuses to give him that excuse. He keeps his hand low and says Yuse still has a choice. He can place the knife on the ground and speak honestly, or he cannot continue proving that his father was right to see him as a danger. The mention of his father increases Yuse's anger. He swings the knife, but Amar moves aside. He blades cuts Amar's jacket without touching the skin. Malik tries to help, but Amar tells her to stay back. Yuse attacks again. Amar catches his wrist and forces the knife away. The two men fall against the car. Yuse strikes Amar's injured hand, causing him to close his grip. Before Yuse can reach the knife, Malik's kitchen is beneath the vehicles. Police voices come from the passage. Yuse understands that he has only seconds to escape. He enters the car and starts the engine. Amar pulls Malik away as the Malik gate and disappears onto a service road. Before the officer reaches them, the police cannot follow immediately because the gate falls across the road. Amar is angry that Yusuf escaped, but Malik says recovering Hassan's money is more urgent. They return to the field where officers are opening the sealed package. Hassan's mother stands beside the medical vehicles holding her son's hand. The first package contained the operations donations mixed with illegal betting cash, but uses the mart and returns record to identify many of the notes. However, after continuing the bundles, the officer says the amount connected to Hassan is still incomplete. Nearly 1 million lira is missing. Hope quickly changes into another form of fear. They have recovered most of the fund, but the hospital requires the full amount by the following evening. The officers explained that all cash must temporarily remain as evidence. Even the clearly marked donations cannot be released until their ownership is formally confirmed. This process could take several days. Amar argues that Hassan does not have several days. The officers say he understands, but he cannot remove money from an active criminal case. Nas asks whether the hospital can accept a legal guarantee showing that the recovered funds will later be released. The officers say that discussions belong to the prosecutors and hospital's management. Hassan listens quietly. Everyone expects the recovery to solve the problem. Yet the money is only on a few steps away and still cannot be used. He tells Amar not to argue with the officers. The police did not create the rules tonight. Amar says rules should protect lives, not delay them. Hassan answers that angers will not change the paperwork. They need another solutions for the missing amount and a legal guarantee for the recovered part. Rami arrives at the stadium after hearing the news. He says he may know someone at the hospital foundations who can help arrange temporary spots, but the person will require strong proof that the recovered cash truly belongs to Hassan Fund. Nas gives the police the stadium camera storage device. The recording shows Yusuf placing the place falls back on the field and ordering his men to prepare the transfer. Unfortunately, several important sections have no sound. The most useful record may be marked video from the underground room where the men discussed planting marked noticed inside Amar locker. The officers said this evidence could clear Amar and support the claim over the donation. Malik also provides her live recording of Yusuf word. The case is becoming thorough, but legal approval still cannot be guaranteed with these hours. The broker assistant approached the officers and offers to testify. He admits that this part of the money belongs to an illegal betting network. In return, he asks for protections from the broker. The police take him aside. Before leaving, he tells Sado that the broker will not forget what happens. The remote control was not a gift. By using it, Sado enters the conflict and explores the broker hidden access to the stadium. Sado says they never agreed to any deals. The assistant replies that agreements in their world are not written or spoken. Sometimes using the offered help is enough. Sado looks at the remote, still helped by the Hassans. He realizes the side may contain fingerprint locations, data, or another tracking systems. He asks Hassan to give it to the police. Hassan hands it over. Immediately, Sado explains where he received it and why he used it. Amar is surprised that Sado tells the full truth without trying to protect himself. The officers warn that the broker may now consider all of them enemies. Sado says they were already enemies of men who believe every human needs can be turned into a business. He refuses to hide again. The stadium is cleared near sunrise. Hassan returns to the hospitals while Amr, Nas, Sado, Malik, Alina, and Duro follow the long tonight. Has left everything executed. Amr sits beside Hassan during the journey. He apologizes for allowing the search to place him danger. Hassan says the closest to enter the stadium. Amr cannot keep taking responsibility for discussing made by other people. The same lessons Nas gave him earlier now came from Hassan. Amr asks why everyone suddenly speaks as though they have formed a group to correct this personality. Hassan smiles and says they have been trying for years, but Amr usually hears only the parts he wants to hear. At the hospitals, Rami meets with a representative from the foundations. The woman studies the police report and agrees that most of the money was collected for Hassan's. However, the foundations cannot provide 1 million lira without approval from its board. The next board meeting is 3 days away. Naz asks whether an emergency meeting can be arranged. The woman says only the foundation chairperson has that authority. The chairperson is currently outside Istanbul and had not answered call. Once again, an official doors appear closed by time. Alina offers to ask her family for the missing amount. Hassan refuses. Alina says the money would be a loan, not charity. Hassan answers that accepting help is not the problem. He does not want her family pulled into Yuze conflict. Alina explained that Yuze has already used her party, her club connections, and her friendship. Remaining silent will not protect anyone. Dura spots her, saying the group should not allowing powerful families to decide which risks young pupils are permitted to take. Hassan finally agreed that Alina may ask, but only if the decision is truly hers and not made through pressure from the others. Alina calls her father, but the conversation does not go as expected. He has already heard about the stadium raid and believes Amar Group brings dangers whenever they go. He refuses to provide money and orders Alina to stop meeting them. Alina says Hassan's treatment is not a social game. Her father answers that their family name cannot be constants to stall money, illegal betting, and police investigations. Alina tells him that protecting a name while ignoring a human life is not respectability. Her father ends the call. Alina tries to hide her sadness, but Duru sees it. She says, standing against finally, family power is difficult even when the person knows they are morally right. Mer searched through the financial records recovered from the stadium. He noticed repeated payment made to a small sports marketing company. The company recently paid a large falls to the hospitals where Hassan is waiting for the treatment. At first, Mer thinks Yuze may have tried to control the operation through the hospitals. After checking the debate, he sees that the payment was made before Hassan's accident became public. The sports company may be funding another patient or using the hospitals for illegal financial transfer. Na suggests that the company could belong to Yuze fathers if he saw the missing on 1 million lira may have been moved through its account. They contact the police officers who confirm that the company is linked to one of Yuze's family business. However, the hospital's payment was described as donations to the emergency treatment fund. Rami says there this would become important if the foundations already receive a large donations connected to Yuze's family. Perhaps the hospitals can legally assign part of it can Hassan's operations. The idea seems beef, but the hospital administration refuses the donations include strict conditions and can be used of patients selected by the door. Nas asked to see the condition. The administration see the information is confidential. Malik remember hearing Yuse complain that his fathers made public donations to improve the family image. The selected patients may not even exist. The money could be moving between connected organizations to create tax benefits and positively publicly. If may prove these hospitals will be forced to examine the donations. Emma does not want to begin another complicated battle while Hassan deadline approach. Nas says the financial scenes may be their farthest path to legal treatment money. Mert and Nas examine public foundations report. They find that Tuesday family company promised to fund 10 emergency operations during the years. Only 2 operations are listed as complicated. The remaining amount is still controlled by the hospital foundations. Hassan meets the medical requirement described in the public announcement. There is no clear reasons to reject him except that the door has not selected his name. Rami says that can make his issue public if people learn that a company promised treatment sports while the owner son viewed medical donations. Public pressure may force and immediate decisions. Amr disliked using Hassan suffering as a public story. Hassan surprised him by agreeing. He says Yuse already turns his conditions into a weapon.